Iisang himpilan, Cool FM. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is Cool News at 4.
Good afternoon and welcome to Cool News at 4. Today is October 17, 2024 and here are the headlines for this hour. Vice President Sara Duterte's security group now has a temporary residence inside the general headquarters of the Armed Forces of the Philippines in Quezon City. Duterte attended the integration and blessing of the new facilities and vehicles at Camp Aguinaldo as seen in photos she shared on a Facebook post on Thursday. I had the pleasure of attending the blessing of the new facilities and vehicles of the Vice Presidential Security and Protection Group at Camp Emilio Aguinaldo last week, she wrote in Filipino. It was successful because of the cooperation of the AFP and the Office of the Vice President so that they have proper office and temporary residence, she added. According to Duterte, the new facilities and assets would help the VPSPG ensure her safety while performing her duties. Last August, the AFP revealed that around 400 of its personnel are under the PVSPG. The AFP explained that the number of Duterte's security detail security detail members increased because her security group is now under the Presidential Security Command. This complied with the assignment of unit order issued by AFP on July 9, designating the PVSPG AFP as a subordinate unit of the PSC. Duterte's security group was a hot topic in July after she confirmed that the Philippine National Police pulled out all 75 members of her security group. She slammed PNP Chief General Romel Marbel for his alleged lies concerning the withdrawal of her police protection detail immediately after she resigned from President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s cabinet, her comment on his State of the Nation address, and the circulation of Marcos' video online where he was supposedly using illegal drugs. She likewise called the removal of her police security a clear case of political harassment and claimed that the National Police were casing her residence. The PNP leadership said there's no truth to Duterte's allegations. European Central Bank policymakers met Thursday with fading price pressures and weaker economic activity in the Eurozone, nudging them towards making another cut to interest rates. T26 members of the Governing Council are gathering in Slovenia as they make one of their regular tours away from the ECB's headquarters in Frankfurt. ECB President Christine Lagarde arrived ahead of her colleagues, checking on prices at the market in the capital Ljubljana, she said in the video posted on social media on Tuesday. What she heard from traders might well have reassured her. Recent data show that inflation in the Eurozone has slowed considerably. In Slovenia, the annual rate of consumer price rises was a mere 0.6% in September. For the whole of the Eurozone, the figure was 1.8%, the first time it has been below the ECB's 2% target in 3 years. After cutting rates twice this year, including at their last meeting in September, policymakers initially signaled a preference to wait until December to cut again. But September's below expectations reading has added to the sense that consumer prices are back under control after they soared in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic and the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Victory against inflation is in sight, French Central Bank Governor and ECB rate setter Francois Villeroy de Gaultier said last week. A cut is very likely, he said after Thursday's meeting, adding it will not be the last. From its peak of 4%, the ECB has cut its key deposit rate into segments of 25 basis points, once in June and another time in September. Among ECB policymakers, there was little apparent opposition to another cut of the same size on Thursday, Deutsche Bank analysts said, describing the move as potentially significant. As the first back-to-back cut of the cycle, it would signal a approach into a faster easing cycle, they said. Trends in both inflation and the real economy supported a case for a straightforward cut, Berenberg Bank analyst Holger Meeting said. A surge in wages to make up for spikes in food and energy prices seems to be petering out. Meeting said and the ECB would look through a small anticipated rebound in inflation towards the end of this year. The Eurozone, meanwhile, has looked weak. The ECB's forecast, published last month, already predicted that growth would slow to a meek 0.2% in the third quarter. A slew of negative sentiment indicators in the weeks that followed have confirmed the impression that action is needed to bring relief to households and businesses. Meanwhile, here in the Philippines, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas said more than 1 billion pesos worth of coins have been deposited through its coin deposit machines. In a statement on Thursday, the BSP said that as of October 11, 2024, the total coin collection has already reached 1.008 billion pesos. Since its launch, the CODMs have accumulated more than 260 million pieces of coins and facilitated more than 240,000 transactions. The Department of Interior and Local Government, DILG, on Thursday said it will investigate concerns on barangay certifications that lead to irregular vote transfers. I will ask my youth set for barangay affairs to investigate, DILG Chief John Vic Remula to inquire that in a Fiverr message. Remula is reacting to the call of Commission on Elections Chairman George Erwin Garcia for the DILG to act on abuses pertaining to the use of barangay certification as proof of residence during elections. Currently, one requirement the public can present as an identification document to become a registered voter in a locality is a barangay identification or certification with a photograph. Garcia claimed this can lead to mass migration of voters from one place to another. Reports of irregular voter registrations were reported in Makati, but the poll chairperson said similar irregularities were observed in the provinces of Nueva Ecija, Cagayan de Oro, and Bandatas. Remula noted that there is a mechanism for protection for exclusion of fake resident voters. Aggravated candidates can use this venue to cleanse the voters list, he said. Garcia also noted there were previous instances when the COMELEC declared as illegal the list of voters in certain areas due to illegal transfers. The families of Arvin and Lorman Lulu, online beauty product sellers brutally murdered in Mexico town on October 4, have expressed their gratitude to the Pampanga police for the swift arrest of the gunman, the alleged mastermind, and other suspects involved in the crime. In the statement, the Pampanga police confirmed that the relatives of the slain couple visited Colonel J. Limanandal at his office on Wednesday, October 16, to thank the officers for their relentless efforts in solving the case. Through the series of coordinated and persistent operations, the Pampanga police successfully apprehended 7 suspects on October 15, including the alleged mastermind, who was reportedly known to the victims, the statement read. On the same day, Philippine National Police Chief General Romel Francisco Manbel commended the Central Luzon Police for their swift actions, which led to the arrest of the suspects. The swift apprehension of these individuals highlights our unwavering commitment to justice, Manbel said in a statement, praising the regional police for quickly resolving the case. Arvin and Luma Lulu were ambushed while driving their pickup truck in Santo Rosario Village, Mexico town. 2 men on motorcycles opened fire on them with .45 caliber pistols, killing the couple. Fortunately, their 6-year-old daughter and Luma's teenage cousin, who were seated in the back, were unharmed. Arvin, who was driving, suffered 6 gunshot wounds, while Luma, seated beside him, was shot 3 times. The Pampanga police reported that the suspect gunman, Arnold Taylan, and his accomplices, Arnold Ulan, were initially arrested in Nueva Ecija. The confessions led to the arrest of 5 more suspects, which are Robert Dimaliwat, Ronaldo Cruz, Jomi Anandiban, Sancho Nito, and the alleged mastermind, Anthony Limon. The arrests were made by a joint task force comprising the Pampanga Provincial Intelligence Unit, the San Fernando and Mexico Police, the 301st Regional Mobile Force Battalion 3, and the 1st and 2nd Pampanga Provincial Mobile Force Companies. Investigators revealed that Limon, also an online seller, owed the Lulus about 30 million pesos, a possible motive for the crime. It was uncovered that Limon allegedly paid the group 1.5 million pesos to carry out the murders. Coming up later on koolNews at 4, LTFRB reopens PUV consultation until November 28. IB Marcos on Senate drug war prop, bring it to court. Plus, 7-Eleven operator aims to reach 4,100 stores in the Philippines by the end of 2024, along with the international headlines and the showbiz, when we return here on koolNews at 4. So stick around with us, we will be right back.
Sahod, hindi limo. Sweldo, hindi ayuda. Imbes nag-aabot ng barya, bigyan ng
It's 4:20 in the afternoon and welcome back to koolNews at 4. Let's continue with the headlines as the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board has reopened applications for public utility vehicle consultation until November 28. LTRFP Chairperson Teofilo Guadias III announced on Thursday. According to Guadias, unconsolidated PUV operators and drivers have 45 days to submit their applications in response to the Senate's request. I only gave them 45 days. This is also the Senate's request when they passed a resolution stating that we should differ. The concession to them is that I will reopen it, but only for 45 days, Guadias said in Filipino in a Super Radio interview. He also said consolidated PUVs from this round of applications will automatically qualify for fuel subsidies once they submit their applications. The moment you apply, you are automatically qualified. We will enroll you in NetBank and you can already withdraw your funds, Guadias explained in Filipino. We are receiving many applications again as the government offers various benefits to those who join the program, he added. According to data from the Department of Transportation, there are still 36,217 PUVs that remain unconsolidated past the April 30, 2024 consolidation deadline. The DOTR also reported in the previous House Committee hearing that only 81.11% or 115,513 out of 191,730 PUVs in the country have been consolidated. Instead of propping the Duterte administration's drug war in the Senate, why not bring it to court? This is Senator Amy Marcos' recommendation when asked about Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa's plan to lead a motu proprio investigation into the drug war. De la Rosa was the first chief of the Philippine National Police appointed by then President Rodrigo Duterte. He was also the chief implementer of the drug war. Maybe it would be better if we bring it to court if there is already enough evidence. Let's bring it to court so that it would not be labeled partisan, self-serving, or otherwise untruthful, Marcos said in Filipino at the Kapihan sa Senado Forum on Thursday. I am nervous that it will be called self-serving. Then we will clash with the House of Representatives. I think it should be clear to us what the jobs of three branches of governments are, she added. According to Marcos, a great deal of evidence has already come forward at the House of Representatives Squad Committee investigation into the drug war. She, however, noted the need to identify which legislation could be produced. If congressional probe should be in aid of legislation, I am looking at laws that could be amended, changed, and added here. That's what I am thinking about, she said in Filipino. Duterte and De La Rosa have been accused of committing a crime against humanity by the families of drug war victims before the International Criminal Court. During the House Court Panel's hearing on October 11, retired Police Colonel Rodina Garra said Senator Christopher Lawrence Bongo, Duterte's former aide, allegedly coordinated with National Police Commission Commissioner Edberto Leonardo in setting up a system to give police officers cash incentives for every drug suspect in the drug list killed. Marcos said De La Rosa and Go have a right to defend themselves, but she also stressed the importance of swift justice. I think the Department of Justice is competent at this point to make a case with the help of the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group and the National Bureau of Investigation. Perhaps prosecution is in order. It has been a long time and we are well aware that as cases linger, evidence grows cold, testimonies become stale, and witnesses disappear, so we really need to rush this, she explained in Filipino. And the Philippine licensee for 7-Eleven convenience stores is planning to end this year with 4,100 branches nationwide, with the expansion partly driven by growth in the urban capital region, according to one of its top executives. In a press conference late Tuesday afternoon, Philippine 7 Corp, Head of Finance and Investor Relations Lawrence De Leon said they have 4,022 stores to date. Recently, we are seeing growth resuming in Metro Manila. That's why in terms of the market development plan, New stores are also anticipated to open, he said. According to the company's disclosure last August, its net income had grown 14% to 1.76 billion pesos during the first 6 months of 2024. The company is also celebrating the establishment of its 4,000 7-Eleven store, which is located in Newport District, Pasay City. It was likewise celebrating 40 years in the Philippines this 2024. The first 7-Eleven store was opened back in February 29, 1984 at the corner of EDSA and Camias Road in Rancho, Manila, according to PSC. Earlier in July, the company said it plans to spend 4.5 billion pesos this year to refurbish old 7-Eleven stores while rolling out new ones. Luzon currently serves as 7-Eleven's largest market with nearly 3,000 stores, while Visayas and Mindanao have more than 500 and more than 400 stores respectively. Time for the international headlines as a bungalow where Singapore's early leaders spent long hours laying the country's foundations is under the spotlight as a bitter feud rages between former Prime Minister Lee Kuan-yew's children. The row centers on whether to demolish or preserve 38 Oxley Road, the single-story house that hosted the formation of the People's Action Party, which has governed Singapore since 1959. The Lees are the closest thing Singapore has to royalty, with late Arch Lee Kuan-yew, the country's first prime minister, referred as its founding father. His children's disagreement over the house blew into the open in 2017, dividing the public as the feud generated headlines in international news. The courting decision about the property's future now falls on new Prime Minister Lawrence Wong's government, 6 months after Lee Kuan-yew's eldest son Lee Hsien-loong stepped down as the country moves toward a general election next year. Lee Hsien-loong, who was Prime Minister for 2 decades, favors preserving the property, which property agents say has an indicated price of around 30 million Singaporean dollars or 23 million US dollars. But his two siblings, corporate executive Lee Si-heng-yang and the late nucologist Lee Wei-lin, have pointed to language in the father's will calling for its demolition. The younger siblings accused their brother in 2017 of trying to exploit Lee Kuan-yew's legacy for a political gain, though the issue simmered down as Lee Wei-lin was still living on the property. But her death on October 9 has left the house empty, reigniting calls from Lee Si-heng-yang, who bought the property from his older brother in 2015 for the will to be implemented. I am the sole legal owner of 38 Oxley Road. After my sister's passing, I am the only living executor of my father Lee Kuan-yew's estate, the youngest sibling wrote on Facebook Tuesday. In his will, he wished for the house to be demolished immediately after Wei-lin moved out of the house. It is my duty to carry out his wishes to the fullest extent of the law. Lee Si-heng-yang, who has been living in self-exile since 2022, added he would apply to authorities to have the bungalow demolished and build a smaller residence. Lee Wei-lin also left the note before her that saying, "Please honor my father by honoring his wish for his home to be demolished." And China has reacted more robustly to Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te's verdict defending the island's sovereignty that his predecessors, with fiery threats and war games analysts say will likely testify. Since Lai succeeded Tsai Ing-wen in May, China has staged 2 large-scale military drills around the island, most recently on Monday, and verbally attacked the new leader at every turn over his speeches and comments. Beijing calls Lai a separatist and has accused him of escalating tensions along the Taiwan Strait, the sensitive waterway that separates Taiwan and China. China's ruling Communist Party has never controlled Taiwan, but it claims the island as part of its territory and has said it will never renounce the use of force to take it. I think it took Beijing about 2 years into Tsai's presidency before Beijing began to single out Tsai by name when they criticized Taiwan, said Wen Sung, a non-resident fellow at the Atlantic Council's Global China Hub. Beijing has been singling out Lai by name for these kind of critiques from the get-go. And finally, in the entertainment news, Sarah Labati reflected on her life as a single lady as she celebrated her 31st birthday last October 9, saying she arrived at the point where she realized she doesn't need anyone but herself. On her Instagram broadcast channel on Tuesday, Labati said being independent taught her the beauty of being content from such a pure, simple, and real space. As I turn 31, I'm overwhelmed by a sweetness that flows from within. I have come to realize that I don't need anyone but myself and that no one can save me but me. This independence isn't a burden, it's a liberation, she said. The actress expressed her gratitude to her few real friends who were present in the lowest lows and most beautiful heights of her life, noting she recognized the deep love for love in the moment of self-reliance. Yet, amidst this reliance, I recognized my deep love for love itself, the joy of giving it and the warmth of receiving it. My heart fills with gratitude for the few real friends I have made, friends who have stood by me through my lowest lows and my most beautiful heights. You are treasures in my life, and your presence is a gift I cherish, she said. In her post, Labati shared how being a mother to her sons, Zion and Kai, gave her purpose, while adding that they found their paradise and sanctuary in the embrace of the ocean. Labati thanked her fans for the birthday messages, as she said that she's looking forward to embracing the realness of life. And that concludes koolNews at 4. As always, if you have any new suggestions or feedback that you would like to share, you can get in touch with us at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. And we will return with more news headlines later with koolNews at 6 before us discovery. Till then, later at 6, I'm Carlo. Good afternoon.